My name is Brendan and I work at the Environment Defender's Office, nominally in charge.
I'm Simon Molesworth. I'm an environmental lawyer. I'm a QC.
My name's Nick Croggan and I'm a solicitor at the EDO.
The EDO is basically a not-for-profit law firm, I suppose. We practice in the area of environmental law, and we do a lot of the things that your traditional lawyer does, I suppose, in terms of representing and advising clients. Our practice is in many respects quite different though, in that our clients firstly are largely community groups and conservation organisations.
It starts in '81 when I went to California to attend an Environmental Law Association conference, and I called in when I was in San Francisco with the Sierra Club Legal Defence Fund, and they had a great idea of taking public interest litigation and representing the public good.
Developments and issues that impact on the environment will always have legal representation, but the environment itself often doesn't.
I said to my board at the ELS, the Environmental Law Section, that I had a great idea to set up a advisory service, a litigation advisory service on environmental law. And I said, it's called the Sierra Club Legal Defence Fund in the US, but let's be a bit proactive and upfront with the name. Let's call it the Environmental Defender's Office, EDO. A catchy title, and something that can really proactively take up public causes.
And unless there's someone like the EDO who's prepared to help groups who want to do that and to help the environment, then there will never be a legal voice for the environment.
My name is Harry Van Morst. I'm the Director of the Western Region Environment Centre and a long-time client of the EDO.
Kelly O'Shannessy, CEO of Environment Victoria.
Mark Wakeham, Campaigns Director at Environment Victoria.
We've had a lot of advice, legal advice on FOIs, you name it. And frankly, without the EDO, we would have missed on a number of those cases, and we would have lost things that we actually won, because the EDO was able to give us that kind of edge, if you like. That's kind of legal advice and some cases, important legal representation.
I first worked with the EDO in the Northern Territory when I got arrested at Jabiluka, and the EDO provided me with legal advice that was good, although I still got a conviction. However,
You didn't tell me that in the job interview, Mark.
Ever since then, I've always found the EDO, they're really professional, really smart lawyers, and it's an amazing resource, because in most ways the environment movement is pretty poorly resourced and can be a bit half-assed, but we actually have some of the best legal advice you could buy, and we don't buy it because it's just a service that's provided there, so it's great.
In the area of policy and law reform work, we've done lots of work behind the scenes, for instance, on things like the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. I'm working with big conservation groups like the Australian Conservation Foundation, state-based peak groups like Environment Victoria, really adding strength to their arm.
Matt Rookall, Executive Director of the Victorian National Parks Association.
Adding a bit of intellectual muscle to the arguments that they bring forward to governments and decision makers as lobbyists and campaigners.
EDO is a great organisation, always willing to help with many of the sort of technical, legal and policy issues that confront us. The environment sector, or the environment issues, are often very both technically complex, a whole range of scientific issues at play, but they're also very legally complex, and the EDO is a great support in terms of providing a way through that for conservation organisations, the community and many others.
I think the thing about EDO for us is you feel like someone's got your back, and you don't feel like that very often when you're an environmentalist, because you do have to put yourself on the line a fair bit, and that's wonderful. And the fact that they're some of the smartest, kindest, funniest people in the world helps immensely.
Hi, I'm Dino. I'm the CEO and ideas man behind the Good Brew Company. I put solar panels on breweries, I put kegs on bicycles, I put beer into people's mouths without packaging. I'm an eco-fascist. I rescued 2 saucepans full of food. I think if anyone needs the EDO, it's me. And one day I'll probably call on them, because I get hassled, beaten up and arrested often for having kegs of alcohol on my bicycle.
My name's Anthony Kung. I am a researcher in environmental law at the Melbourne Law School, and next year I'll be starting a PhD at the University of Queensland. The EDO has very much been a family to me. I started volunteering with them in August 2009, and I realised how much fun they were to be with. And ever since then, whenever I felt bored on a Friday night or just in need of a bit of, uplift, I've found myself at the EDO, drinking their beer, eating their food, and generally having a very good time.
Also, they're really good drinking buddies on a Friday night.
There's lots of ways that people can help us and get involved. Get engaged in the sort of stuff we're engaged in for a start. It's always really valuable to have people writing submissions, getting involved in inquiry processes, supporting cases and so forth. Obviously, we always appreciate people who are prepared to provide us with support, whether that's in kind through volunteering or through donations and so forth as well.
My favourite times at the EDO, I think, really have been a mix of work and a mix of play. So for me, when something's cracking, when there's a case to be researched, I've been lucky enough that people have asked me to do that research, and I've been really felt part of the team, part of the core work that EDO does. But equally, when it's Friday night and there's the age quiz to be completed, I've also been part of that team. And that's been equally as formative an experience of mine in the EDO as the actual substantive research.
The EDO is absolutely critical to the environmental movement in Victoria. And it's not just the environmental movement in the way it's often seen, because often that involves just people in the community who wouldn't see themselves as environmentalists, but whose issues nevertheless involve environmental law. And so I think that the role the EDO plays is absolutely critical, and the resources they do it with is amazing.
We'll never really know the degree to which the EDO has changed the course of environmental management and environmental care in the state. But what we can confidently say that it's had a hell of an influence.
We really couldn't do without the EDO and their critical organisation to the success not just of the EDO but to many other environment groups.
They're our lawyers, and we can rely on them.
Because I'm not affiliated with a major multinational corporation. I love you all.